Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I'm a few minutes late, but I want to say good morning to you and welcome to another motivational mindset for this week. And I hope you have had a great weekend. Of course, this is Monday. We're starting out a new week, but we're starting out on a positive note. And today we are going to be talking about getting over your fear of being on camera. And of course, I'm Brian Hill. I want to say welcome to this edition of Motivational Mindset for 24-hour boss. And we're going to be talking about getting over this fear of being on mindset. So let's get ready to jump into it. Let me get my slides up here. All right. So, yes, we'll be talking about getting over your fear of being on camera. And being on camera, of course, it can be pretty uncomfortable. Trust me, I know. It's always nervous. I'm always nervous. But we get it. Being on camera, it's uncomfortable, whether it's on YouTube, whether you just recording on your phone, whether you're live, or whether you just recording offline, you know. Being an introvert myself, yes, I am an introvert. Uh, it's uncomfortable. And so just one of those things. It just doesn't feel right. It seems uh it seems awkward. Uh it seems I mean I don't know. That's the best I guess that's one of the best words to describe it as just being one of those things that, you know, uh as you'll see in this video, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel. I think the nervousness never goes away, but it does help, the more you do it. And so I want to share just a little bit of my story and, how uh, I got kind of over some of the fears of being on camera. Because again, I'm a true introvert. I'm still an introvert. Okay. I'm still an introvert. So for me, my story is, and I, of course, I have the slide there. So my story, the podcast that never made one episode. So some years ago, uh, about 10 years ago, 2013, I started working on not what I do now for 24 Hour Boss, but I started working on wanting to do a podcast. That's what I want to do. And this was going to be a faith-based podcast that I was going to do. It was going to be a faith-based podcast. And uh, my music stopped. It was going to be a faith-based podcast. And I was going to talk about different biblical topics. And of course, like I said, this is what I want to do. I was ready. I was geared up. I was set to do this podcast. Now, this podcast was going to be all audio because, again, I'm an introvert. So it was going to be all audio. So I wanted to be behind the scenes. I didn't want to be in front of the camera, right? So I wanted to do an all audio podcast. I had created the name for this podcast. I created a website. I got the domain. I got the website. I had the Facebook page, social media page for this website, for this podcast that I was gonna do. And then I began to. Uh, Good morning, Sister Tierra T. Good morning to you. Appreciate you joining early this morning. I know it's early, but we up this morning. We trying to get this day started. Thank God for a new day, right? But a good morning to you. I want to say I appreciate you being here. But yeah, I started this. This is 10 years ago. I'm starting this podcast, and I started. I record the episodes. I record the episodes. Again, this is all audio. I record the first 3 episodes because I wanted to get like 3 episodes in my bank so that I could have something to work with. So I get 3 episodes, and then after listening to the podcast, after listening to the uh, the audio of it, after hearing me talk on this audio, I started to feel really insecure, and it was just like, you know, I started just to, not like what I was hearing, and I want to share some of the things that what I was feeling when I started recording this podcast in 2013. And so, some of the things I started to feel about myself, and you can probably relate. You can probably put it in the chat. You can probably relate to it right now, even if you got a podcast. But these are some of the things I started to feel when I was recording this podcast. And so, um, one of the things I started to feel was, of course, like I said, I'm shy, I'm an introvert. I was afraid of what other people would say. I was afraid of their comments. Maybe somebody would, you know, judge how I sounded because I'm sitting here just overthinking. I'm looking at how I sound or how I think I sound, and I'm starting to be really insecure about myself. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna get criticized, I'm gonna get judged, and you know, and these are some of the things that I was feeling. Um, and uh, yes, to Tierra. I'm trying to help us and myself. Trying to help us and myself. Uh, but I started to feel awkward. I started, I didn't like how I sounded. I didn't like how my voice sounded. I didn't like that, you know. I'm. It just was. To me. It was really bad. I felt inadequate. I'm sitting there thinking, who's gonna listen to me? You know, why would they even listen to me? And I'm just really just giving myself just no credit, and just hurting myself, right? I had a fear of failing. I was afraid, what if nobody listens to this podcast? Uh, uh, Cody, stop, do the free plan. Oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. Okay, yes, okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, I had a fear of failing, and I'm sitting here thinking, what if nobody listens to my podcast? And so these are just some of the things I'm thinking, right? And so I'm just really overthinking. And I felt like it had to be perfect. So I'm listening to myself. I'm listening to all the, filler words that I'm using as I'm speaking, and I didn't like it. I'm thinking I got to be perfect, and that is so not true. And so that was one of the issues that I had when I started this podcast. When I first started, like I said, this is not 24-hour boss, but this was in 2013. I was going to start this, this biblical faith-based podcast, and just overthinking, and felt like it had to be perfect. And so after some time of just trying to listen to it, trying to make it perfect, I just felt like, maybe right now this isn't for me. Maybe I can't do that. And so I kind of just got away from it. And lo and behold, look now. I mean, now I'm doing it right, but it's 10 years after the fact. So look at how much time has passed. Look at how much just really overthinking, just really criticizing yourself, just really thinking you got to be perfect, thinking that how I sound, how I look, all of that can just set you back, and you'll never move forward because you're sitting here looking at how you sound, how you feel. You think you got to be perfect, and none of that is true. None of that is true. And so that is what I dealt with, and that's why I got the slide up that says why my podcast never made the one episode, right? And that's my story. That's when I first started, right? I never made it. Never was published. I started recording, but it was never published, right? So we fast forward to today, and uh we fast forward to today, and still an introvert. I'm still an introvert, but right now I can still get nervous, but I prefer to do a live versus recording a video, because there's so much you got to do. There's no editing. You don't have to edit a live video. You just go. You just record it and go. You know, I don't have to edit. I don't have to. Editing, of course, is time consuming. And not only that, you can connect with the audience immediately, right? Your audience, they can chime in, they can comment, and you can acknowledge. Just like we got Tierra here jumping on this live with me, and you can connect with your audience instantly, which your audience will appreciate that, because it's like, hey, they're talking to me and I'm talking to them, and you're telling some of the same things, just like Tierra. Uh, she, with her podcast, Women Who Rise, she of course has a great audience, and she can connect with the audience. They can relate to what she's talking about. She got these testimonies that a lot of people, a lot of the women that are listening, they can relate to it, or even brothers too, But that's one of the things about being live, on camera, right? That you can connect with the audience, and not only that, but people get to see your personality. They get to see who you are. You get to be authentically yourself, and you get to be who you are. And not everybody may not relate to your personality, but they there are going to be a lot of people that can relate to your story, and they can say, wow, I really like how this person presents, or I like, some of the same struggles I got. And so that's one of the things about being live on camera, that that kind of helps, and this helped me, right? Again, like I said, I still get nervous. I still, am not perfect. I'm not saying that by any stretch or anything like that, but it has helped doing it more and more and more. You feel more comfortable with it, right? Another thing that helps is that social media algorithms love live. They love it. Social media loves, they put it out there that, hey, so and so is live right now, and so it helps your channel, it helps your platform. So that's one of the benefits of being live, and that's something that's helped me. And I'm no longer, trying to hide, behind the camera, or like I said, I'm still an introvert. I still get nervous, but it's just one of those things. And so now, as I get ready to try to wrap this up, right? I'm gonna share just some solutions that that has helped me, or that I think can help you as you go through, and if you are trying to get on camera, I think some of these things may help you. So let's try to jump into some of these. I appreciate you, Tierra. Man, she's chiming in. Let's see what she says. I struggle with filler words. Lord, yes, them filler words. I'm trying to tell you. But see, one of the things about being live is you don't have to be perfect, and that's one of the things that I struggle with. And I'm like, now it's like, I don't care, I care, but I don't care. But here's the other thing, being live, it forces you to want to be better. And so that's one of the things, because it's like, I think I got that on one of the slides. When you live, that's it. It's just go with it. Whatever happens, you got to roll with it. If something fall behind you, you can pick it up. You can pick it up, but you roll with it, right? You just roll with it. But that's the thing about being live. It's like, look, I'm human, and whatever happens, it happens. And so we just gonna roll with it. But I appreciate you chiming in and being here. Tierra, I appreciate you. Now, I think your podcast is top notch. I mean, you really doing it out there. You got the theme music. Hey, come on now. You got the theme music. I ain't got no theme music, but hey. But it's good to see that you growing, Tierra, and we'll help us one to another. So I appreciate you though. And I look at your podcast, and I know you look at mine, and we learn from each other. I know I can learn from you. Just like I think one of the things I like, that I started to do, that I learned from you, Tierra, was that I wouldn't bring my guests. I think my first couple of lives, I had me and my guests on at the same time, but I started waiting, because I like how you did it, where you would talk a little bit, do your little intro, and then you would bring your guests in. So that's something I learned from you, Tierra. So keep doing what you're doing. But let's talk about some of these solutions to being on video. Okay, so first I want to say you got to get over your flaws. Okay, again, I talked about this in this first video. None of us are perfect. I talked about our faces. If you really carefully look at your face, one of your face is one of the sides is different than the other. Even my hair. I noticed that one side the pattern of the wave go different than the other side. So our faces are not perfect. So, you got to get over that, right? You got to get over how you sound. Those filler words, I know filler words ain't not good, but that's something you can practice, right? You can practice, but don't let that stop you and prevent you. So those are things that we got to get over because we're not perfect. So, we have to get over that. Get over our flaws, get over how we sound, how we look. Don't be so self-conscious of yourself. Don't overthink because it's not like that, right? I have another slide. I have another note up here. I don't think I have a slide to it, but I say, relax, right? There's no need to panic, for you being on camera. 'Cause guess what? Usually when you are recording, it's just you and a camera. Now, of course, depending on how many people you have on your platform, you may have thousands, you may have quite a bit watching, but it's just you and a camera. So, don't need to panic. Nobody else is in the room with you. So it's just you and that camera. So you just roll with it and go with it, right? It's only you and that camera, just relax. Everything's going to be okay, right? So get over your flaws. No need to panic. And, stop overthinking because, you got this. You got this. All right. Here's another solution is, choose a topic or a subject that you want to talk about. Choose something that maybe you are passionate about, because if you're passionate about it, chances are you'll be able to talk about this subject quite a bit. You don't want to talk about something on camera that you don't really know about. So you want to get prepared, right? You want to make sure that you know about what you're talking about. That way, when you start recording, you don't have to, worry about breaks in it. Unless you're editing it, then you can do with it however you want to do it. But choose something that that you specialize in, or there's something that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, you'll be able to talk about that all day. So that'll help you when you are recording your videos, especially lives. That will help you. All right. So another solution, or another thing you can do, another tip, is practice until you are comfortable. Okay. So you can practice offline. You can just set up your phone and record yourself. And again, I don't like to look at myself. I don't like to listen to myself. But right now, I'll say I'm much better at it. And actually, I do go back a lot of times and watch. One thing I do is, I'll tell you this. One tip I do is I go back and watch my lives. For one, that's a view, right? That I can get that helps my algorithm. So I go back and watch. But not only that, I do watch it to see how I can get better, to see how I can improve. So I do go back and watch sometimes. To me, it's not as cringy as it used to be for me. Like 10 years ago, it's not as cringy because I've gotten over my wanting to be, how I sound, how I look. I've gotten over that, so I'm not really bothered by that now. And see, that's another thing that just doing this more and more, it helps, because it's like I am what I am. I sound how I sound. I look how I look, and I'm comfortable with that. And so that's why I say practice until you are comfortable. Do it as many times as you have to, and until you can get yourself comfortable on screen. Like I said, you don't have to be live. You can just do it on your camera and practice it. And so that will help you to get more comfortable. You can record like a 10-30 second video. Talk about your favorite restaurant. Talk about where you traveled, or something like that. And and that can kind of help you to get more comfortable on live. And so basically you just want to press the record button, look directly in the camera, and take a deep breath, smile, and say your statement, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. If practice, like, if you got an intro you got to work on, hey, practice your intro, practice your closing. Hey, welcome to the 24-hour boss podcast. And and work on the closing. If you're gonna have an intro, you can have a closing. Work on how you intro, work on how you close, and because more than likely your intro and your closing is going to be the same. So that you just say that, that's going to be the same. That'll be like muscle memory when you start to do, especially the lives, or even recording offline videos. It'll start to be like muscle memory. So that's that's the way you can kind of work on getting comfortable on camera. And like I said, you go back and watch your videos, and 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 just like I said, it could probably be cringeworthy, but you'll be okay. But it will help you, and you look for ways you can improve. Don't try to look to be perfect. Look for ways you can improve, and so that's what you want to do. You can look at how you sounded, how you look, even if the filler words bother you, look at ways you can. I know one guy I follow. He says, you should just pause versus saying that filler word. You just pause. Don't say nothing. And if you practice that, of course, I don't have that down, but it makes sense. And so if you have a long video that you're doing, like if you're recording a long video, you probably want to record that line by line, right? You want to record that line by line, and uh, you know, uh, do one. Well, I'm saying do one sentence at a time, because especially if it's a video you got to edit. It could be hard. Unless you got the words up somewhere, teleprompter, something like that. Then it could be hard uh, to remember or recall what you need to say. You could just make bullet points. If you know what you're going to say, you could just make bullet points, and then you talk from those bullet points. So that could help too, right? And I have to say, uh, for doing video, you got to. If you don't do it, you got to do a live, because I'm telling you, there is nothing that will prepare you for video or help you get out that comfort zone like a live will. It will help you, because again, you got to roll with it. Whatever happens in a live. And so I can promise you that you will be okay. But you just got to. Yeah, that's one of the things. If you haven't done a live, never done a live, you need to do a live. You could practice doing a live. You could just do a practice live. I'm calling it a practice live, but you actually going live, right? You do a practice live where you telling your followers, you go live and you say, "Hey, I'm just testing to see how this looks, how this sounds." And you can ask your audience, "Can y'all hear me?" And they'll respond, "Yes, we can hear you." And as you conversating, it'll help you get over those nerves, right? So it's a practice live. You're actually going live, but you just kind of practice. You're just telling your audience, "Hey, I'm just going live just to practice. I'm just practicing to see what this sounds like, what this looks like. Can y'all hear me? I'm testing my audio. I'm testing my video. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?" And they'll chime in. But doing that, it'll help you to kind of get over those nerves. And so, those are some of the things that can help you, get over those nerves. All right. So for me, and those are some solutions. So, uh, how going live helped me, right? So I've already kind of talked about it. Like I said, nothing can help you prepare for a live, or prepare being on camera like going live, right? Again, there's no editing, there's no removing your filler words. You just roll with it. You just roll with it. Whatever happens, it happens. Uh, of course, even going live, yes, you should prepare it, right? Prepare what you're going to say. What you're going to talk about. If you know, and again, also another thing with going live is, if you're nervous about it, bring somebody on with you. Like Sister Tierra, she has guests that she brings on. But maybe you could do it live where you and somebody just talking, you're having conversations. That can, I know that helps, where you and this person, y'all talking about one subject, but that helps get over your nerves too. If you go live with somebody, so that's a way to get comfortable being on camera. Um, but these are some of the things that helped me, and now, like I said, after doing so many lives, of course, I'm not the master of doing lives. I'm not, but after doing so many of them, it's helped me I'll say it's forced me to practice. It's forced me to want to be better. It's forced me to look up, how can I do this better on a live, you know, uh, because you when you are live, you don't want to fumble, you don't want to make mistakes. Like I say, whatever happens. But at the same time, you don't want to fumble. You don't want it to be messy, right? So it forces you to want to do better. Like I said, not to be perfect, but just to find ways how you can improve. And that's what it does, right? So again, practicing that intro, practicing that closing. For me, I created a custom background, for my lives. But those are things. These are ways that after doing it, so much, you try to improve. You look for ways to improve it, look for ways to make it better, look for ways to add more value for your listeners, for your audience. And so that's kind of what it does, and that's one of the benefits of going live. You got so many people that hit time in. But for me, it's also giving me self confidence in myself, right? Like I said, I'm not perfect. I don't know it all, but now, like I said, I don't really look at how I sound, how I look. I don't care about that too much more because now that's not important, right? So it's giving me, it did the opposite where I thought that going live, oh man, well, how am I going to do that? But it did the opposite where it built my confidence, right? It shows me, or it's helped me to believe in myself, right, and my abilities, right? So that's where something that you think that, well, if I go live, how would I be able to do it? You can do it. And like I said, for me, it did the opposite, right? Where I was thinking, oh, will this work? It helped build my self-confidence. It helped me to believe in myself. Yeah, I'm still practicing. Yeah, I'm still working on myself. But that's one of those things. And again, so if you can do it live, you can do any video. You can do anything on camera. If you can do it live, hey, you are ready. You're ready. But I don't worry about trying to be perfect. What others think about me, but as we get ready to close here, I would love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you can chime in later as you watch this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. What helped you to get comfortable on screen? That's probably an episode I need to do. What helped you get comfortable on screen? Because I know a lot of people struggle with this. And, still a struggle for me, right? I'm still learning, but you can chime in. I want to appreciate you, Tiara, for chiming in today. Let's see what she said. She said, many don't know 24 Hour Boss helped my podcast greatly in the beginning. I'm grateful. Yes. I do what I can to help. And like I said, I learned from you too, and I appreciate you being here today with us. But yeah, those are just some of the things that, I was thinking about today. And so, this is pretty much as I get ready to close, all the things that I recommend for you, but don't be afraid. Like I said, use some of those tips, and I'm pretty sure, I promise that it will help you to be more comfortable on screen. So I want to thank all of those that Baby John, Sister Terry. I appreciate you. Women Who Rise. And listen, if you don't know her, she has a great podcast called Women Who Rise. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. She goes live every Thursday at 8:00. And but she has a great, amazing podcast. But and I would like to thank all of you who are watching, tuned in, who will be tuned in later. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, y'all have a blessed week and a blessed day. God bless you.